and their grandmamas, his ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep shit up, his ass going to prison.
Don't be in this bitch. Wait till I come back in the month late night, and then it's just you, and I slap you up. Yeah. You trying to act off, son? Oh, like this in front of all your people. Say your mama, I said Happy Mother's Day. And then chin in my face and shit. Like, what? He want to talk about some other shit. Like, this being shit. Just being shit. No, I'm being real. You lying. You lying. You up here flagging. You're cat.
King grew up with cameras on him from day one, trying to step out of that celebrity shadow and build his own identity. Even if his path got chaotic, reckless, and tied to a lifestyle he didn't truly grasp. But the second that 5-year sentence dropped, everything flipped instantly. It wasn't jokes anymore, it wasn't memes, it wasn't trolling. It turned into a situation with real weight, real impact, and consequences nobody could laugh off. People all over the internet started asking the same question. How was T.I. going to handle this? This is a man who built his whole public image on discipline, growth, wisdom, and learning from the hard lessons life throws at you. And when he finally spoke out, his words didn't calm the situation. They hit even harder. T.I. has never been the type to downplay reality, especially when it comes to protecting his family.
Stand by right here for me. 32, I'm 10 extend, 1 detain. Spread your legs slightly. I just need to pat you down.
And everybody knew he wasn't about to sugarcoat anything now. For years, he tried to steer King away from that tough guy persona, reminding him again and again that the streets don't love nobody, and that consequences don't disappear just because you're famous. Made it clear he had lived through things most people only pretend to understand. He survived, it grew from it, and didn't. T want to see his son trying to walk down a path that only leads to pain. But King kept pushing that line anyway. Viral arguments, risky moments, wild videos, and internet drama that had fans saying he was doing too much. It looked like he was trying to prove himself to strangers who didn't even value him, chasing validation that never mattered. And now that a 5-year sentence is officially locked in, reality finally showed up at his doorstep with no way to run from it. When T.I. stepped up and spoke, his tone cut through everything like a blade. This wasn't show business. This wasn't a storyline. This wasn't something fame or money could clean up.
Yes, sir.
There's one in the head.
Does your buddy have one as well? Alright, just hang tight right here for me. Let me clear this. I don't want any accidental fires.
There's no safety. You gotta take
There's no safety. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna mess around with that too much. I can just set this down right here. Dude, step out for me. Yes, sir. Place your hands behind your back for me. Alright, right now you're just being detained. You're not under arrest. I'm gonna be at the church. Alright, I appreciate you being cool, man. We're just gonna take a look at this information, make sure it's valid. Just take a step to the side for me.
He sounded like a father who had been warning his son for years, only to watch each warning get ignored until the consequences became unavoidable. It was the voice of someone who's seen the other side of bad decisions and knew exactly what happens when the lessons dawn T-land. T, I didn't dance around anything. He admitted he saw exactly where this was heading, long before the world reacted. He said he tried everything a father could try. Real conversations, tough love, discipline, showing King real-life examples, and surrounding him with people who could have kept him on a better path. But at the end of the day, King made his own decisions, and T.I. didn't hide how much that truth hurts. You could hear the frustration all over his voice, disappointment mixed with heartbreak. Not because he felt embarrassed, but because he knew none of this was inevitable. He knew this didn't have to be the outcome. But even through all that hurt, he stood firm on one thing. He's not abandoning his son. He made it clear that King may have taken a road he doesn't agree with.
Think I ain't spoke to my son. Think I ain't told my son, his mama, and his grandmamas, his ass going to prison. If you goddamn keep that shit up, his ass going to prison. Ain't no way around it. Ain't nothing I'm gonna be able to do about it. Can't nobody stop it but him. You know what I mean? I've already had the conversation. I've already made my peace with it. Cause I know that energy. I was that energy. I know exactly how it's gonna turn.
But that's still his son, and he's standing beside him while he faces the hardest chapter of his life. T.I. called it a rough road, but that's an understatement, because 5 years is no small situation, especially for someone who's been in the spotlight since he was young. King is about to be tested in ways he never imagined, and this might be the one thing that forces him to confront the reality he's been trying to outrun for years. The second TI's reaction hit the internet, social media went wild. Some people showed genuine sympathy, saying this might finally be the moment that wakes King up.
So what I'm saying is, they wouldn't
talk like that outside.
Hey, I can talk how the fuck I want to wherever I'm at. I'm on live, Shawty. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. This ain't your fucking restaurant. This ain't your fucking restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name? My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. File your shit. Come back. What? On game what? On game what? Come here. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. Come here.
Others weren't so kind, saying he'd been flirting with danger for too long and acting like real consequences could never touch him. The internet pulled up old videos, old arguments, old interviews, moments where King tried to project an image that didn't match who he really was. And whether people like him or not, everyone agreed on one thing. Something had been spiraling for a long time, and now it finally hit a wall. But once the jokes faded a bit, a deeper conversation started bubbling up. Folks began questioning what kind of pressure celebrity kids deal with, how growing up famous can twist your reality, and how easy it is to slip into dangerous patterns when you care more about impressing the internet than protecting your future. King's situation turned into a bigger conversation about young men trying to imitate a lifestyle they never truly lived, and how fast things get serious when the streets stop being an image and start becoming real. And at this point, TIISNT, worried about memes or public takes, he is watching his son face years of consequences, and that pain hits different.
Treat mine like you treat yours.
How y'all got so much time, bro? How y'all always gotta have?
What is it about?
It's not illegal to have.
Well, in the manner in which you portraying in the lifestyle, you don't look legitimate, sir.
Look, I'm not supporting no more. I'm not supporting. I'm not.
What kind of parents don't support their kids in little goddamn slide? Bigger than you. And then your book there. So, go up and say, hey, who do you belong to? Who raised their hand? Somebody got to raise their hand. I've been seeing him around too here a lot. You gonna raise your own hand? I've been seeing him around too like that. But when you got it ain't when y'all got around those people, that's called it's not possession of and commission of a crime, sir. That is a felony. Yeah. Thank you.
This isn't about fame, ego, or image anymore. This is about family, about love, about regret, and about hoping that this moment, as painful as it is, becomes the thing that finally breaks the cycle before it's too late. And once the dust settled, people started digging deeper into how things even reached this level for King Harris. Because the truth is simple, this didn't happen overnight. King had been walking a dangerous tightrope for years, trying to juggle two worlds, living like a rising entertainer, while also acting like he was tied to the streets in a way that didn't match the environment he was raised in. That double life started catching up to him, and now the consequences are impossible to avoid. People online used to crack jokes saying King was playing a role, acting out a script, trying to be someone he wasn't. But now, the jokes stopped cold. That tough persona he kept pushing smashed straight into reality, and suddenly people started replaying every wild moment from the past year, trying to figure out how things got this deep.
People hit me up like, King, I know you tired, you ain't getting no sleep, and the truth be told, before this little, I ain't been getting no sleep. You know what I'm saying? I just been outside working, lifestyle. You know, lifestyle just lifing. You know what I'm saying? And, but now I'm damn sure not getting no sleep. This up every morning, and then around the morning time, he like to do that little live concert I be doing with him. And, he like to walk around the house.
Every restaurant argument, every public fight, every chaotic live stream, the internet boosted it non-stop. The internet treated his behavior like a show. Clips went viral, pages reposted everything. People laughed, reacted, shared, and pushed it further. And King soaked that attention up like fuel. He turned chaos into content, turned hype into personality, and before he even realized it, he got trapped in a character he couldn't drop, even if he wanted to. And once young adults start performing for an audience that loves drama more than growth, the danger shows up fast. King wasn't just chasing clout, he was chasing validation. He wanted people to see him as real, even if that version of real was leading him right into a lifestyle that was in T, built for him.
I'm saying, kind of woo-saw yourself outside of the public opinion, then I think, you know, because I tell you what, I have the greatest, most extensive family photo album. I can document and, like, I could go back to when King was Eris's age. I can go back to when Major was my granddaughter's age.
But what made this whole situation even heavier was TIS's position in it. Because T.I. has always spoken loud about staying out the streets, building generational wealth, and breaking toxic cycles, fans remember the times when T.I. looked him in the eyes on camera and said he didn't like the way things were heading. But King kept shrugging it off, thinking the spotlight made him untouchable. T.I. didn't raise his kids to play out street fantasies, and that's what cut deep. Watching King fall into traps T.I. spent his entire career running from. So when T.I. finally addressed everything publicly, he talked about accountability in a way that hit different. He didn't blame the system, didn't blame fame, didn't blame the internet. He said King made choices, and those choices brought real consequences. That honesty shocked people because most celebrity parents defend their kids no matter what, but T.I. didn't sugarcoat a thing. He said he loved his son, he'd support him, but he wasn't going to pretend the courts were wrong for doing their job. That statement alone sparked a huge conversation online about parenting in a world where fame, money, and attention can make young adults feel invincible. But behind all the noise, there were signs King had been struggling with identity long before this moment. Growing up with famous parents is a blessing and a heavy weight at the same time. They had Tiny built a public image of a strong, successful family, and living under that spotlight can make you feel like you have something to prove every single day. King wasn't just going back and forth with the world he was fighting, the shadow of his father's legacy. Wanted to build something of his own, even if that meant chasing the wrong influences. And once he started drifting, the people around him didn't help. Some hyped him up, some used him, some stood back and watched him spiral without saying a word. Fans noticed how a lot of King's so-called peers went silent after the sentencing news dropped. All those same people who were loud during his viral moments suddenly vanished. That's when folks realized how lonely things get when consequences finally show up. Fame disappears, fake friends disappear, supporters disappear, and you're left standing alone to face whatever comes next. And that's exactly what T.I. meant when he said King has to walk the path he created. Some people online are wondering if this sentence might actually be the thing that finally forces King to slow down and look at his life. Few fans hope this becomes the moment he grows up, rebuilds, and comes back with a whole different mindset. Others think he still hasn't hit rock bottom, even with 5 years right in front of him, and that the lesson might get even harder before he truly understands what's at stake. But everybody agrees on one point. This is the most serious, defining moment of his life so far. The jokes stopped, the memes disappeared, and the tone shifted instantly. People are watching him in a different light now because this isn't a storyline anymore. This is real life, and these consequences hit way harder than anything he ever saw coming. As the reality of King Harris's situation settles in, the whole conversation is turned to what's next. Not just for King, but for the entire Harris family. Because even though he's the one serving the time, the impact hits everyone connected to him. And in a family as public and influential as T.I. and Tiny's, those ripples turn into waves fast. Every move they make now, every post, every interview, every statement is being watched, replayed, debated, and broken down by millions. And T.I., being the leader he is, already stepped forward with a level of honesty most celebrity parents would never dare show. For him, this moment is deeper than a legal setback. It's a painful reminder that no matter how much fame or success you have, you can't shield your children from the consequences of their choices. T.I. said he warned King over and over the world don't bend for nobody. And carrying a street image eventually brings real pressure. Now they're standing in the middle of a moment he prayed would never come. And you can feel how deep it cut. Not because of embarrassment, but because every parent knows that heartbreak of watching your child learn a life lesson the hard way. And for someone like T.I., a man who fought his way out of dangerous places, the pain hits even harder because he knows exactly how fast things can go left in that environment. But here's the real twist. King always saw himself as grown, ready to stand on everything he said, ready to take on the world. And now, life is calling that bluff. For the first time ever, the spotlight isn't protecting him. There's no camera crew hyping him up, no viral moment to hide behind, no fans cheering him on. It's just him alone with reality, with no shortcuts and no escape route. That sentence forces him into a space where he has to sit with himself, reflect, and decide who he really wants to become. And honestly, that silence, that stillness, that moment where all the noise stops, that might be the most powerful part of the entire situation. Meanwhile, supporters and critics are still arguing online about whether this chapter will break him or build him. Some say this could finally be the moment he drops the persona and steps into something real. Others think the pressure might make him cling even harder to the image he built, especially if he walks out feeling like he has something to prove. But one truth everybody learned: nobody can predict a young man's direction until he decides it for himself. And King just reached a crossroads where the next step could change everything. A lot of fans are also watching Tiny closely, even though she stays quieter than T.I. when it comes to public drama. She's known as the emotional center of the family, but want to know how she's holding up, how she's supporting King, and how she's carrying the weight of watching her son go through something this heavy. Behind every public post is a private struggle, and this one is heavy enough to change how people see fame, parenting, and what it means to grow up in the celebrity spotlight. And as for T.I., this moment pushed him into a place where he has to balance tough love with unconditional support. Hey, he made one thing crystal clear: he's not shielding King from accountability, but he is standing beside him when the world feels cold. He's preparing himself mentally, emotionally, and publicly to support his son without enabling him. And that alone shows just how real this moment is for the entire family. That's a tough line to balance, especially with the whole world watching every move they make. But T.I. looks ready for it because his love for his family has always been louder than the noise around them. No matter how messy things get, he's never been the type to fold under pressure. He stands on what he believes in, and he stands by the people he loves. Now everybody's waiting to see what King does next. Not in terms of fame, not in terms of music, not in terms of going viral, but as a man. Does he rebuild from this? Does he evolve and grow past the image he was clinging to? Does he finally step into a version of himself that isn't T-shaped by strangers online, or the pressure to perform for an audience that never cared about the real him? This next chapter is going to define the rest of his life, and whether you support him or criticize him, nobody can deny how massive this moment is. This is one of the most defining chapters in modern hip-hop family history, a moment that will be talked about long after the headlines fade. If you want to stay locked in with everything happening around King Harris, T.I. Tiny, and the whole Harris family, make sure you subscribe, share, like, and drop a comment so the world knows you're tapped in.